I used to chase 20 plus sales calls a week easily while still, focusing on delivery for all of my clients. And I still feel like I was just way behind, especially when all of that was happening and the kind of chaos there. And so, now I've got no setters, no closers, no client success team, and my AI handles more convos than my old sales team, even than they ever could, honestly, back in 2021, 2022, when I had a team of about a dozen, honestly, back then, when you combine all the departments, if you will. And I just completely eliminated the need for a sales team and scaled with an AI powered leveraged offer model here, right? And I really want to show you how to get into that because I think that most folks really believe that you need to build a big team in order to scale. But what if the real answer to true freedom was that you really did not need addition, you just needed more subtraction, right? The mentality of let's scale this thing lean and not loud. All right, so I've got clients myself like Nick who have closed 19K in just 8 days with just a virtual assistant, running a version of this exact system right here. All right, so let's go ahead and break down exactly how this can work for you inside of your own business. What's going on? My name is Justice Severin. I am here making these videos for you every single Wednesday, all right? Dropping them hot for you right on YouTube. Straight off the press for you if you're a coach, expert, consultant, creator, high-ticket service provider, and you're looking to create a massive impact with your personal brand. This is the place for you here. I want to help you build a really lean machine when it comes down to client acquisition, consistently online, especially too, because I want you to have that leverage in order to be able to scale without having to just be, I think so many people have gotten used to this mentality of let's just go to the extreme example of door knocking, right? It's like there are those people who are just kind of stuck in their ways as far as like, yeah, I don't mind hustling. Like I'll do it that way if that's what'll get the job done. But then you put yourself in this really tough situation, honestly uncomfortable situation. You may not be there yet, but you honestly, if you're watching this video, you're feeling that already. So I want to help to just give you shine some light on a way that you can really make this happen for yourself where you can get away from that hustle mentality, right? No matter what that looks for you. You might not be door to door knocking, but you may be used to networking in person all the time. You may be used to fill in the blank to your version right now. Whatever that is you're thinking, let's simplify and let's bring you max leverage here. Yes, you don't have to deal with the nonsense. All right. So now obviously too, if you're new, go ahead, please drop a comment down below. Let me know you're new, right? Comment what you're about. We'd love to see. I'll go ahead and pop by, make sure I said what's up. And then obviously too, if you're coming back here, click the subscribe button. You obviously like this stuff. And obviously, I'll be here next week as well for you too. But for right now, we got some good stuff. So let's not waste any more time. All right. Why most people build sales teams. Let's just get into it, right? And why personally I didn't and why I do not anymore, especially, right? Most coaches and creators I feel like are building these teams because really I feel like it's a lie they've been kind of fed by the industry. And let's remove the word lie. That maybe that's a little bit too drastic, right? It's this maybe it's the lie that this is the only way. And I think that at the same time, if we're being honest when it comes down to marketing and pieces like that, I'm all about, hey, throw rocks at the villain, right? So it's like, hey, they are telling you that this is just the most effective way for you to get to a completely hands-off business. And I think that a lot of times when you just hear that enough, you tend to think that this is the only way, right? But the reality is that they just haven't found a great solution for the problems that they're facing, right? A lot of people right now, like yourself, maybe you're overwhelmed by conversations that you're having. You don't know how to really systematize the lead nurturing process. You're still kind of on, call to close mode. You have no way to close outside of jumping on a call. A lot of people are taking, two calls to close people, multiple calls, and I'm talking about with one prospect to close a client here. The truth is, it's not freedom, right? That's really all of these things when you're going to go ahead and out there and try to replace it with the sales team. You're just creating yourself. It's more management. I remember for myself back then, I remember really feeling, and someone pointed out this to me at the time, I forget who, but they were like, it sounds like you're, the head of HR. And I really felt that when they said that, because I was really balancing all these emotions of all these different people. And even if it was, and honestly too, I remember when I had dropped it from 12, I'm a team of 12, and I dropped it down to a team of 4. I felt a lot better for sure. But I still could feel that where it's like I'm still managing all these emotions at the same time. Because that's just not what I got into this for, if we're being real, right? And so the real problem though is that you just most likely don't have a leveraged offer or scalable sales process in a way that will allow you to not have to bolt on all of these team members, right? And especially when a lot of people are bolting on all these team members at once. It's one thing to go ahead and add on one member at a time where you truly see fit for a great spot, where ideally I'd like to see that for you where it's not on the closer side, it's not on the setter side, right? So here's what I did instead, right? Really, I want to have you keep this focus on, and this is how I teach it personally inside of branded clients. I want you to build a leveraged high ticket offer first. That's where it starts. That's the foundation. Most coaches seem to think that a sales team is the problem, but really it's the offer, right? It's like we are trying to kind of fix everything but the actual thing that's in pain, the actual bleeding neck problem sitting there right inside of your business, right? Now, if you need someone to explain your offer every single time, you do not have a scalable offer. You have a hostage situation if we're being real. So take the handcuffs off. Let's get you out of the jail cell and make this thing popular for you, right? Get this to a place that you can actually scale it up, right? And honestly, as well, too, the reality here is that before even AI does anything for you, right? This is all about how we can get AI to really take so much off your plate and really power your system in such an effective way. Your offer has to be able to convert without you, right? And this is why I built a leveraged offer for myself, right? A leveraged high ticket offer, a scalable offer, a core flagship offer for you in the business. And the reason this is leveraged and really why I kind of, if you will, I call this our bestseller offer. But really the reason why this is leveraged is because it creates a version of your offer that does not require maximum amounts of hands-on support. And look, I will put an asterisk here. Yes, I'm all for you having an offer out there that can do and include more intense done for you, right? More intense hands-on, heavy hand-holding support type of offers. But ideally, that is an offer that's more on the back end. That is not meant for what I want this to serve for you as the one that goes out to the masses. When you have the strategy I'm about to show you and really lean into here today, it requires you to have a leveraged offer that you can really get out there to the masses and know that if you were to get 20 clients for it, it's not going to overwhelm you. That's what we're looking for here, because when you build the system the right way, you're going to create that potential for you inside of the business. So when you have that now created, I went ahead and I turned that into an offer doc, right? This is basically a sales asset that pretty much it's handling objections, it's breaking down the framework, shows pricing, and really just explains the transformation that I'm bringing my clients in a whole and as a whole. And I want you to have the same mentality for yourself when you're going to go ahead and implement this too, right? The doc becomes the closer though, is what I want. That's what I want this hit home for you. The doc is your new closer, right? This alone removes the need for sales calls with 95% of prospects. And at the very least, if you are jumping on a call, it's not with people to go ahead and explain everything. They're already in the know at this point. It's really just to go ahead and kind of check a few boxes. It becomes more of an enrollment call, if anything, at that point, at that stage of the process, right? And then you add on the back end of this too, the content and the nurture system, which plays such a large role, right? It's like me making videos like this right now, right? That's the next piece of my system is, in a sense, the content machine. And I don't just mean your organic content here, right? Really what I'm talking about is my content, my emails, and my ads. Like this trio, in a sense, does such a large part of the nurturing for me. I don't need to do triage calls. I don't need to warm up in the DMs like that. Every touch point that I have, from reels to retargeting emails, to retargeting ads, if they build trust on their own, and the compound visibility is what really helps to pay off that much more, right? And all of these pieces, right? This trio, if you will, they are all directing people to my offer doc. And not just everybody. I don't just want anybody who sees my content to go ahead and see my doc. I want people who are genuinely interested to see it. People who have already got to know me a little bit. And maybe they just found out about me, but they're already intrigued and they want to learn more. Why go ahead and put it behind this gate, delaying it so that people can start to understand how it is that you help people? Because now you've planted the seed. And now you've set yourself up for a future sale, but a lot of people are in it for right now. They want money today. The reality is, though, you're not going to get that money today unless you can go ahead and really plant the seeds yesterday, right? Or however far back yesterday may have been. So I'm repurposing content to build authority, right? AI isn't just the tech. AI is truly the glue in the system. And that's where really all of this starts to come together for you. So I want to now tie this right into really the AI specificity within the AI sales agent, right? This AI sales agent, this is my new setup, right? When I compare it to how the typical model that people have been using for years and years and just paying out commissions on commissions, managing emotions on emotions and everything here, right? Here's where the AI comes in. I build an AI sales agent, right? You can also call this an AI setter. I like to call him Jamal, right? And so really, he's trained on how I talk, how I sell, and even honestly, how I joke around. My verbiage, my verbatim here, it engages with every ad in real time, right? It answers questions, it routes people to the offer doc, which is extremely important part of the process for me. And it starts to handle those objections like an absolute pro, right? Because it knows exactly what I would say because I have conducted conversations already, like you most likely have yourself. You just haven't built this into a leverage process to help you here, right? So there's a lot of tools out there that can help you with AI conversation pros, right? I have my own all-in-one system. We call it basically the all-in-one client acquisition machine. But regardless, there are plenty of different softwares and tools out there to make that happen. It's up to you to kind of figure out how you want to do that. Obviously, in branded clients, we hook you up with that. But regardless here, you want to have it trained on your brand. You want to have it trained on your tone, your framework. So that really, the idea here is that it feels like me inside of the DMs, inside of my SMS conversations, so that now when I'm conducting them, whether it's actually me or if it's the AI bot, now it feels like me in the conversation there. That's what we're shooting for, right? Instead of this kind of random setter who really just, who knows, they don't, and especially too, it's like we think that we hire someone and 30 days later they know, oh yeah, they're going to get them to talk just like you. The reality is there's so much training that has to be done. And the reality is also is that a lot of people just will never get to that point because they're not actually good enough. And then if you add on the back end of that here, a lot of them are going to leave you. So it's just this kind of false vision that people paint selling this huge sales team, which is why I take this approach. And when I first started using it, I saw how it was just really pushing folks to think in a different way, right? I love how the AI sales bot, my AI sales agent, it was really doing this in a way that, I may have been, if I'm being transparent, I may have been too shy at times to kind of push people towards, right? And not in a pushy way, but just getting people to realize and get out of their own way, right? I remember one in particular got a now new client, right, to completely drop their guard, right, and decide to join me inside my brand of clients there. And so seeing the kind of power of this in real time, it really started to shift how I decided to show up and how I decided to handle my payroll. And more transparently, how I decided to eliminate it, to be honest with you here. And so that's just it. Like this AI agent, it doesn't need to be managed or paid commission, right? It runs 24/7. It doesn't burn out, no days off, right? It's running holidays, weekends, all this good stuff. And it's just a beautiful thing how it really frees up my time, right? It frees up my time more than I can even honestly explain. The hours it saves me because I've created an ecosystem for myself that brings in buyers daily, that brings in leads by the boatload daily. So now I don't have to be the one nurturing them, right? Especially one-to-one. I can focus on nurturing them one-to-many, right? Like I said, with ads, with email, with my content like this, but also one-to-one with AI. Still getting those one-to-one benefits there, right? This is what allows me to completely replace the one call close and the two call close, especially that old-fashioned, outdated model here, right? Where you need the triage call and the closing call, right? And especially, right, the sales agent really, here's the reality for me on how this thing really operates, right? Is the AI sales agent that sets the stage, right? It's almost like the AI sales agent, that's the triager, right? That really warms the person up to get to the point where they want to trust me. And then it gets to the point where now there's the offer doc. The offer doc closes. That's the new closer for me. That breaks down my offer instead of having to have somebody I paid to jump on these 45 to 90-minute sales calls just to not have them close. And now I have to deal with their emotions because they're not getting whatever the case. All the things here, right? And I just cherry pick who I personally reply to. This makes it so that now I'm able to really drive both, of my daughters to school whenever I want to, right? It's like no issue, I don't have to work the weekends unless I choose to, I can hit $1,500 plus days with my phone in another room, right? A large part of that is all due to the AI system here, knowing that the business is still here plugging away, chowing down, right? Running effectively without me being glued to my phone. This is where it can be so powerful. I want to paint a picture for you. Is this airplane? I want to paint a picture. It's this airplane analogy, right? And really, this system works like an airport. Imagine it this way. My content, that's the signage, right? My content's the signage, right? It's getting people in front of it. It's understanding where to go a little bit, right? The AI is TSA. That's filtering who's ready to go. Who can go through the gates? Who are we going to allow to get through the other side, right? Imagine it this way. And then the offer doc, my sales asset, this is the boarding gate. right? That's the boarding gate now. That's where, okay, here you're allowed to pass through. You're allowed to see the other side. You're allowed to basically go ahead, right? And the plane, that's the transformation they're buying into. That's the thing that inevitably gets them to the destination. And so we view it as this, where there's these different stages in the process, but can really be very powerful when you view it this way. And I only need to step in really when it's necessary, right? And that can be extremely rare, honestly, right? And really, it's every now and then someone might, want to ask a few quick questions. I'll tell you what, like, I am absolutely cool with that, right? Because really, hey, I step in, answer directly, but by the time this is the key piece, right? This is what really makes it why I don't mind that. Because by the time they hit me, or by the time they reach out to me, ask a question, whatever the case may be, they already know the pricing. They already know the pricing. They already know the offer. They already know what's inside the doc, right? They've seen it all. And this is how I replace so much on the front end plus the back end, right? This is what's giving me more time here to especially really have more time for my clients in the back end. This is how I replace my client success too, if I'm being transparent, right? Most people hire client success. Here's the honest truth. They're hiring because, and this was myself, 2021, 2022. I was doing that because I was too busy on the sales side. I didn't have the time to be really helping my clients. And so I took the process of, hey, let me just make sure I build a course that's good enough for them. And that's powerful. But I just noticed more and more time and time again, when I was able to get my hands on it and really help people directly in the pocket beyond just the course that I believe showed them everything, that's where I was seeing some of the best client results to date that I've had. And so I said, how can I really construct a system that allows me to turn this to a reality more consistently, right? Like I said, and that's where things really start to shift, because when you're out of the sales weeds, you can actually serve clients, believe it or not, right? I use the freed up time to improve delivery, make onboarding overall smoother, and build training into the back end that was way more effective and efficient. And the result is that more clients started getting more wins. I started getting less churn. And here's the reality on the mentality side, just the energy side. It was a far simpler operation. And I get to turn those wins from clients now into marketing, which makes my sales process far more effective. And that reality leads into the 3-layer approach that I preach all the time, right? Which is the magic behind why this strategy truly works so well. The way that I see it is that you really have these 3 layers. At the top layer is sales, right? And when it comes down to sales, this is where most people are focusing all their energy, right? And when I say that, they're trying to lean into having the best sales tactics, the best sales strategies. Like, they just have to go all in here, right? And I believe that a large part of that is because, those are the people who are just saying, hey, I need you to buy today. They're throwing all the urgency at you. They're taking objections as a personal attack, right? And the problem here is that it's just you're coming from a place that does not have leverage. And so that's the top layer sales, where a lot of people are just focusing all their energy. Below that is the marketing. This is where leverage starts to really kick into place, because you're taking that energy that you can take and you're really getting in front of all your audience. And so that now you are planting a seed that is now really pre-selling your audience in a much more effective way, right? And this could be marketing that's, whether it's with paid marketing. Let's say there's 2 ways. One, it could be paid marketing or free marketing, right? With AKA organic content or paid ads. Or it can be like kind of gated marketing, right? I sell low ticket offers constantly. Like, even that is an extension of my marketing, my middle of the funnel. But getting people in front of any and all of that is now warming people up, pre-selling them, so that now you can go ahead and make your sales process that much easier. You can disconnect from it that much more. It makes it so you don't have to explain stuff for 2 hours before someone's willing to take you serious on a call, right? And that's where things like having the offer doc in place can be so powerful for you. So that, like I said, you have the sales now and the marketing. Just having those 2 will make it easier to get clients. Now you take with that 3rd layer down below, which is the client success, and really it's the client results. The more client results you're getting, now you're able to bring that back to the marketing. Do you see what I'm saying? This makes your marketing more effective, which now makes your sales more effective, which allows you to have higher closing rates and higher conversions, and really get yourself to that point where you can start seeing daily sales and clients. This is what really starts to make all of this turn here, right? So that's why I love seeing it that way, right? Like I said, everyone's living just sales first mentality. You've got to start moving down the ladder and allow all of these layers to start working for you effectively, right? Because really, when you remove yourself from sales, this is when you finally have the space to deliver and really take advantage of each layer at its fullest. All right. And really, this works because, let's bring it right back to the foundation here. This works because the offer is rock solid and I've proven it converts. And so we've got to get the same thing dialed in for you as well here too, right? So really, let's just make sure we understand this. If you do not have demand, AI is it's gonna be far from your saving grace. It's not gonna be the thing to save you. It's not gonna be the thing to save your business. No matter what everyone says here, right? You've got to have the foundation dialed in. But if you've got something real, AI scales it like gasoline on a fire. All right. So I'm telling you, lean into this stuff here too, right? This is the new model. This is the mentality that really I've leaned all into, and in reality, I'm getting a lot of my clients to really get great results with this as well here too. It's simpler, it's smarter, and it's scalable. And one beautiful piece that is just the reality that it does not require a sales team. No sales team needed. All right. So if this video made you realize that your current sales setup is just kind of way too manual, if you will, honestly, like, and you want one that's really that has this done for you blueprint that replaces your sales team and really allows you to scale the business in an extremely lean way, the link's below in the description for my brand of clients, right? Brand of clients is my mastermind. I help you with this. I walk you through with support directly from me, right? So I'm more than happy. Like, let's make it happen if that's where you're at right now in your business, or you just want to see the specifics. There's no wall, like there's no opt-in, just details are down below. Right. Beyond that, though, obviously, if you really are kind of seeing how the offer and messaging come into play and how you really need to get around that, I link it up a YouTube video you can see here on the screen somewhere, right? Where basically, if you want more help with that, go ahead and check out my video there. I made this all around the number one mistake that I see coaches really making with visibility, so you can go ahead and unlock that hidden ROI, that hidden return on your investment, return your time for yourself and your business. All right, so take action with that, and I'll see you in the next one.